Ferris Chevrolet Cadillac Toyota Night features kids race car rides at intermission. I'm your announcer, Adam Mackey, and on behalf of track owners Randy and Sue Smith, I truly hope you enjoy tonight's exciting racing action. Tonight's race program is run in part by the race director, Jason Anthony, the driver mediator, Joe Evie, scores, Gary Smith and Debbie Leglise, the pit steward, Dean Miles, the spotters, Bill Ditto and Pappy Miller, the tech inspectors, Dave Hoopengarner, Bob Sibla, and Paul White-Zurich. The lineup guy is Jim Reel, and the flagmen, Terry Coletti and Jason Neely. Tonight's top qualifiers are late models number 12, Bubba Smith, Sports Stocks number 38, Kevin McClintock, Pure Stocks number 5, Vince Martin, and Compacts number 22, Kyle Rector. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem. Carrying the colors is Natalie Kiefer, riding with Bill Abill. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, welcome to Midvale Speedway. It is Ferris Chevrolet Night 2010. We are just moments away from the on the pole, and car number 1 is Bryant Smith from Canton, Ohio. Bryant Smith, third in the late model points. Mike Miller, the points leader. Car number 53, third fast qualifier, starting on the outside. Second fast qualifier, once again, that number 27 of Rich Markham. Markham sits fourth in the points. He's on the inside, and on the outside, the number 20. On the back stretch, telling the field they'll be coming to green in one more circuit. Bryant Smith and Mike Miller in row 1. 27 of Markham's also want to feature. The Smith brothers still looking for their first feature wins. And we got a caution coming out. Caution was going to come out for the start down in turn number 4. Want the front row start. Smith on the inside. A real good start coming off the final turn. Down into the first corner. Miller with a slight advantage. Smith on the inside lane tries to fight back. Can't quite do it. Can Miller close the door? He will. Down in the corner. Smith lays the bumper to him. Gets back to the inside in turn 4. Bryant Smith will go into the lead. Mike Miller back into the second spot. They still fight side by side out front. Bryant Smith, Mike Miller, Rich Markham, and Bubba Smith. Markham racing with Miller for the second spot. Markham up to second, Miller back to third. When Miller tried to close the door on Smith going down into 3, Smith drove in hard, made just a little bit of contact. Miller pushed up the banking. Final circuit, last lap for Bryant Smith in the number 1 car. Smith trying to hold off Markham. A little sideways was Markham off of turn number 2. Here comes Bubba Smith to the low side of Miller. Checkered flag, Bryant Smith, Rich Markham, Bubba Smith, and Mike Miller in the 53 car. Again, an important race. They do pick up heat race points for their dash tonight, as these drivers will not be back out 4 heats later. Picking up the dash win, put your hands together for Bryant Smith. Tonight, the points leader. Second in points coming in was the 49 of Teddy Oliver. He starts on the outside. Oliver was 1 point behind, and since he qualified one spot better than Passwaters today, they are actually tied for the points lead right now. 85 of Chris Mick making his first Midvale start of 2010. A Mick in the 85 in this fast dash race is from Stowe, Ohio, one of the regulars at Barberton Speedway, deciding to come to race with us tonight here at Midvale. And he is second fast in qualifying. 5-car Vince Martin starts in our final spot. He was the top qualifier tonight after a hard crash last week for the number 5. Well, the Fast Four qualifiers in the Midvale Speedway Pure Stock Division will be set to go green in one more circuit. They were going to have Vince in the 5 and Mike in the 05, and then they switched right before qualifying. So it's Mike Martin, the top qualifier tonight in the number 5 car. We go green. Passwaters and Oliver, the points leaders on our front row of our fast dash race, and it's Passwaters with the advantage heading to 3, but Teddy Oliver fights back in the second groove going into the third turn. Two bump a little bit coming off of turn number 4. And that time at the line is Teddy Oliver, the leader. Passwaters up the banking. The two get together, and here comes Chris Mick. Opens the door wide open for Chris Mick in the 85 car, and Mick the second fast qualifier, and now Passwaters will go around in the 75. So Passwaters in the 75 spins it around, keeps on going as the battle for the lead continues. Chris Mick and Teddy Oliver going at it. Two veteran pure stock racers. At Barberton Speedway, they call this class the hobby stocks. And Oliver gets sideways, nearly spins into the infield. He's actually helped out by the 85 of Mick, who just happened to be there. 8 tires better than 4. Oliver continues on. Chris Mick pulling away, though. Here comes Chris Mick, and he will pick up the feature win in our dash tonight. Second place goes to the 49 of Oliver. Third to the number 5 car of Mike Martin. And fourth to the 75 of Passwaters. Pretty 85, put your hands together for Stowe's Chris Mick. Perfect batting average at Midvale Speedway in 2010. Top 4 in the compacts. 36 car of Rich Dunlap on the pole. Third in points is Dunlap from Dover, Ohio. Jesse Page, 6th in points from Louisville, starts on the outside in the 02. Number 11 car, Bryce Allensworth, qualified second tonight, the second-year racer here at Midvale Speedway. Good run again in time trials this evening. And rounding it out, the 22 car of Kyle Rector from New Philadelphia. He is your top qualifier in the John W. Cookson, Gross Welding, Lee's Auto Repair, and Autism Speaks racing entry. Top 4 qualifiers are on the track. Coming to green off of turn number 4. 4 laps the distance in our fast dash for the compact division. 36 car of Dunlap, 02 car of Page. Here comes the 22 car of Rector. Rector found the opening. He gets around the 02 for second. And Kyle Rector advancing towards the front of the field. He'll challenge Rich Dunlap at the conclusion of lap 1. Rector looking to the outside of Dunlap now. Rector was close to the track record speed in practice, about a 10th off of the track record speed in qualifying. And here in the dash race is looking for the lead on the outside of Rich Dunlap. At the line, it's Dunlap in the 36 car. Boy, Dunlap making a last lap effort last week in the feature. Just about came away with a feature victory. It was credited to the number 3 car of Kyle Grove. Coming to the white flag, Terry Coletti with it in hand. One more lap to go for the 22 of Rector. Unless something happens on this final circuit, it looks like Rector is going to be able to pull this one off. Good run through 1 and 2. That 22 car handles so good. You see the power about the same down the straightaway, but through the corners that 22 car is stout. To the line, checkered flag for New Philadelphia's Kyle Rector. Dunlap second, Allensworth third. Fourth place to the 02 of Jesse Page. Let's have a nice round of applause for your winner, Kyle Rector. Mark Willison behind the wheel of the 71 tonight. His first appearance in 2010. Good to see him back. 99 car of Derek Gruhl starting in the outside lane. Second row of this late model heat has the veteran late model campaigner Joel McKnight in the number 8 car and the number 22 of Ron Jayberg Jr. Good qualifying effort for those two drivers after struggling in qualifying last week. 00 of Todd Ripley starts 5th, starting 6th, the 17 of Bob Schneider Jr., and rounding it out, the 90 car of Emerson Huffman. Willison in the 71. Ryan Tedesco's just about got his race car ready. He should be with us in a week or two in his number 70 car. Willison taking the wheel of the 71, and we are green. Green flag out for Mark Willison and Derek Gruhl. Gruhl purchased 4 new tires for that car yesterday, and it looks to have helped it out a little bit after struggling in the feature a week ago. Side by side, they raced to the line at the conclusion of lap 1. Also, Ripley and Jayberg side by side for 4th, and Willison into the lead in the 71 car. Mark Willison into the top spot. Joel McKnight looks for 2nd. Oh, and contact back of the field. Ripley will pull off into the infield. Todd Ripley still under power, will just pull to the infield. Out of the way as he and Emerson Huffman, I think, maybe two getting together. Didn't see what officially started it. But it is Willison leading in the 71. Halfway this time, 4 laps in, 4 laps to go for Mark Willison. Mark Willison running in the 14.9s. He qualified at a 14.8. Joel McKnight, the veteran in car number 8, looking to get around the 99 car of Gruhl. Joel McKnight looking to the outside, but again drops to the bottom. The battle is for 4th. Here's Ron Jayberg Jr. and Bob Schneider Jr. Emerson Huffman there as well. Huffman looks to the inside. He and Schneider get together. Schneider steers out of it. Huffman will race to the inside on the backstretch. White flag this time by. Final circuit for Mark Willison. Joel McKnight again to the outside of Gruhl. It's going to come up a little bit short. Checkered flag. Mark Willison the winner. 2nd place Gruhl. 3rd to McKnight. 4th Jayberg. 5th Huffman, and 6th to Schneider. Todd Ripley pulled off into the infield. Maybe like there was something wrong with the car. I thought I saw some contact between him and the 90. Maybe first race in 2010. Checkered flag for this driver from Minerva. Put your hands together for Mark Willison. Ran the number. Rounding it out is the 07 of Kenny Cantrell. Series late models will be here next week. Should be a good show. One of the Bounty Series cars, Oliver Allen, the 02, racing with us again tonight. And we are green. Tom Garbrandt, 3 wide on the start. Tom Garbrandt puts it down on the rumble strips. They're going around the 47 of Dave McAllister. It's Tom Garbrandt with a good heads-up move on the first circuit, and Garbrandt goes into the lead for lap number 1. Eichel and McAllister got together a bit down in the corner. And we got caution out for debris. Eichel, Oliver Allen, row 2, Jonathan Ritter, and Kenny Cantrell in row 3. We are green racing again, and Tom Garbrandt and Kenny Stevens get together. Stevens slides off into the infield, and it looks like we're going to have another restart. So caution out. Garbrandt and Stevens get together. And Jonathan Ritter, row 2, and Kenny Cantrell up into the top 5 already. Tom Garbrandt into the lead. Eichel in that second spot. Oliver Allen running third. Kenny Cantrell fourth. And Jonathan Ritter in the fifth spot. Here comes Allen to the bottom of Bob Eichel. And Oliver Allen moves up to second in his Cadillac. Kenny Cantrell running third. Battle for fourth between Bob Eichel and Jonathan Ritter. Ritter was a little quicker in qualifying than Eichel was. Ritter looking to the outside, and he's going to loop her around down in turn number 4 and bring out the caution. And we'll have a restart. These late models in our final heat tonight pick up the pace a little bit. They're a little better coming off of turn number 4. And Tom Garbrandt goes into the lead. Cantrell will look for second. Kenny Cantrell up the banking. Nearly made some contact with Allen, but he was able to keep from having any problems between those two. And Kenny Cantrell has taken second away. Oliver Allen back to third. Ritter fourth. Oliver Allen looking back to the outside of Cantrell again for the second spot. Ritter's on the inside looking for third. White flag this time for Uriksville driver Tom Garbrandt, the number 30 car. Allen fighting back, looking for third again on the final circuit. Checkered flag. Your winner is going to be Tom Garbrandt. Cantrell second. Third place to Allen. Fourth to Ritter. And missed one night this season. DSI Automotive, Trenton Service Tire, Country Cut Mowing, the sponsors for Uriksville driver. Let's hear it for Tom Garbrandt. Heat race time for the Tusconet Sports Stock Division. Jerry McNeely in the number 1 car, the 31 of Bill Abill. Front row starters. Top qualifier Kevin McClintock in the 38. Randy Smart's got his points leading car back together. Had an axle problem in hot laps. He actually qualified the red car. But since they got the black car fixed again, he's back behind the wheel of his own car. And Dave Hoopengarner jumps behind the wheel of the 14. One of our tech guys, he'll get to run the heat, and then Don Rufner Jr. will be behind the wheel of it in the feature. Jerry McNeely on the inside of Bill Abill and will lead lap number 1. Kevin McClintock and Randy Smart in the battle for the third position. McClintock checks up, down in 1 and 2 as he and Smart came close to making some contact. Abill and McNeely still side by side at lap 2. And now Abill has slid back a little bit. It's opened the door for the 17 of Smart to challenge the leaders. Abill dirt tracking it off of turn 4 up in the outer lane, and now Kevin McClintock looks for third. McClintock into the third spot. Randy Smart saw an opening to the inside of McNeely. That opening is going to get bigger, and he takes over the lead. Oh, McClintock also close to that number 1 car of McNeely down in turn 2 as he locked up the brakes. As we go green, coming off of turn number 4. Randy Smart leading, Kevin McClintock second, Bill Abel third, Jerry McNeely fourth, and the 14 of Hubengarner running in the number 5 spot. White flag, this time final circuit for the 17 of Randy Smart, 38 of McClintock, 31 of Abel, 1 car of McNeely, and the 14 of Hubengarner. Coming to the checkered, here we go. It's going to be Randy Smart picking up another race win in 2010. McClintock second, Abel third, fourth to McNeely, and fifth to the 14 of Hubengarner. Rufner should be behind the wheel of that number 14 in the feature race tonight. Group, McBride's Auto, Kurt Guerin MD, KRC Race Cars, and Shook Auto number 17. Your points leader, let's hear it for Randy Smart. Here's your lineup for the Pure Stock Heat Race tonight. We've got the 05 of Vince Martin on the pole. Brian Menard in the 51 starting outside. 17, Bill Burkholder. 62 is Adam Stewart. 74 car of Bob Passwaters Jr. and 36 of Jonathan Moore. 8 laps in our heat race for the Pure Stocks. Reminder, Vince Martin in the 05. Menard in the 51. To the outside goes Adam Stewart, tries to make it 3 wide. The try was a failure. The 05 of Martin, a little bit of smoke coming out of that ride. Tight quarters down in the first corner as Martin will head pit side in the 05 car with heavy smoke on that ride. Hopefully something that can be fixed for the feature. Leading this one is Bill Burkholder. Halfway this time, 4 laps in, 4 to go for Bill Burkholder and Adam Stewart, the top 2 about to be racing for the number 1 position. Stewart hard into the corner, right on the rear bumper of Burkholder. A little bit of contact in turn 2. They continue on. Stewart contact with Burkholder again, using the chrome horn a bit down in turn number 2. Stewart closing once again. We've got 2 laps from the finish. Stewart does find the outside lane. Burkholder, white flag, final circuit. Stewart again to the bottom. Sideways is Burkholder. If he hangs on to this win, he's definitely earned it. Coming to the checkered, it will be Bill Burkholder, Adam Stewart, Brian Menard third, 4th place to Bob Passwaters Jr. Put your hands together for Bill Burkholder, the winner in car number 17, held off Adam Stewart after a heat race number 1 for the compact division. We've got the 03 of Earl Scranton, the number 5 of Max McCartney in row 1, Neil Rowley in the 46, Don Rufner the 3rd in the 07. 47 is Don Rufner Jr., 35 John McNutt, 33 is Brad Henry, 18 Wes Ennis, and the 3 car is Tad Grove tonight, and we're racing for 8 laps in the first heat for the compact division. Again, we already ran the fastest qualifiers in a dash race tonight. Earl Scranton, the leader. He's a 2-time, make it 3-time feature winner in our compact division this season. McCartney running the high lane, sideways down in turn 1, steers out of it. We're going to have 3 wide for second. To the inside goes Rufner. Inside of him is Rowley. Going to get tight down in 3 and 4. Oh, McCartney up the track now on the 5. He's going to get freight train. 4 wide coming off the turn. Rufner gets turned around. He and McNutt get together. And we've got a caution out. Turn number 4, when the contact was made, it was McCartney that slid up, and then that opened the door for Rufner the 3rd and John McNutt. They both went for the hole. And we're back to green. Much better restart for the number 5 car, McCartney, as he has an advantage going into 3, racing into 4. Max McCartney in the outside lane's going to take over the top spot. Should be able to close the door, and does. McCartney the leader. Neil Rowley looking to the inside. Him and Scranton make contact. Scranton down on the infield. Back up the track he goes. Look out, Wes Ennis will get collected. '46 and Neil Rowley in the 03 of Earl Scranton. Some contact down in turn number 3 to bring out the yellow. And opening up the door for the 33 car of Brad Henry is McCartney. Down into the corner. McCartney gives each car room. It's going to open the door for Brad Henry. He will take the inside lane. Into the lead goes Brad Henry. McCartney is going to get shuffled up into the 3rd lane. Tad Grove on the move in the number 3. Tad Grove might just be able to come to the front in this one. Well, McCartney and he get together. Now Rufner's boxed in the 47 as Ennis looks low. And Tad Grove is up to 2nd. Tad driving Kyle's car tonight. 3 wide for 3rd, Wes Ennis. Max McCartney, Don Rufner Jr. Rufner's been in the wrong line for the start of this race. McCartney waving to everyone. He's going off the track to get it ready for the feature tonight. Brad Henry in the 33. Tad Grove in the number 3 car. Wes Ennis in the 18 and Neil Rowley in the 46. White flag this time. Final lap for Brad Henry. Grove closing on the rear bumper of Brad Henry down in 3 and 4, but it's going to be a little too little, a little too late, and Brad Henry celebrating victory, crosses the line in front of Tad Grove, Wes Ennis, Don Rufner Jr., and the 46 of Neil Rowley. 2nd place in points coming in and winning a heat race tonight. Let's hear it for Brad Henry. Don Boron Jr. on the front row. Corey Evie in the 21 car with a 40 car, Richard Hambleton. Row number 3. The 8 car of Jeffrey Orr and the 41 of Tim Frederick. 20 car is Larry Ennis Jr. 42 is Michelle Matuzik, and 55 is Ed McLean. We're off in green. Jeff Orr and Corey Evie get together down in the first corner. Evie comes to a stop, and it's going to be a yellow and a complete restart. So a complete. Now Duvall goes into the lead with Boron in the outside lane. Duvall in the lead, Hamilton second, third place Boron and Evie. Battle between two young rookies, neither with a driver's license. And Evie wins the battle with that too. Boron gets down on the infield and continues on. Hamilton on the outside of Rich Duvall for the lead halfway, 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. Richard Hamilton, Rich Duvall, Corey Evie, second and third place cars. Tim Frederick, a little bit of bumper tag down in turn 2 as he and Corey Evie were racing. White flag, final circuit for Richard Hamilton. Coming off of the corner, Richard Hamilton will pick up the win. Second to Corey Evie, third to Rich Duvall, fourth to Tim Frederick, and the fifth, Jeffrey Orr. The Hamilton Concrete 416 Sand and Gravel, 24/7 Concrete and Ready Rock, number 40. Let's hear it for Richard Duvall. Richard Hamilton, rather. Richard Duvall, let's hear it for him, too. What the heck? He finished top 3. Bill in the 31, Kevin McClintock and Randy Smart, and the 14 car of Don Rufner Jr. coming to green off of turn number 4, ready for feature racing tonight here at Midvale Speedway. 15 laps the distance. Boy, Bill Abil looked like he had the lead locked up, but the 31 car slid out from underneath him down in 1 and 2. Abil really sideways. McClintock trying to get up on the inside of Abil as they battle it out in our top 4. McNeely on the bottom. McClintock will follow through in the 31 car. McClintock and McNeely not best of friends after last Saturday's feature race. They are competing now for the top position at the front of the field as Randy Smart. On the one car, McNeely has spun it around by himself down in turn number 2. Caution flag is out. McClintock one feature win this season. Smart with numerous feature wins. Smart the points leader. McClintock second in points, and they are green. Randy Smart takes the lead off of turn number 2, and this one is most likely in the books. Randy Smart out front in the 17 car. Randy Smart, your leader, running 15.4s the last 3 circuits. McClintock in the 15.5s and 6s. Bill Abill in the 31 car. Running in the 15.8s, Jerry McNeely in the number 1 car. Running in the 15.9s. And Rufner running in the 15.8s and 15.9s. In that number 5 spot as the field is spread out around Midvale Speedway with 8 laps in. Make it 9 in, 6 to go for Randy Smart. Kevin McClintock. The lead has sort of stabilized over the last couple of laps. White flag, final lap, 1 to go for Randy Smart. Checkered flag off of turn number 4. Picking up the victory will be Randy Smart. McClintock second. Third place to Bill Abill. Fourth to the number 1 of Jerry McNeely. And also picking up a top 5 finish, the 14 car. McBride's Auto Service, Vicky Lehigh Realtor, Dutch Valley Market, Shook Auto, Hot Rod Motors, Kurt Guerin MD, KRC Race Cars, Dover Dental Group. Number 17 picking up the win tonight once again in our sports stock division. He had an axle issue on the 17 car in practice today, so he qualified the red 14 car. There he is, your winner, Randy Smart. fifth feature win for the 17 car. Randy, congratulations. It didn't go without any problems today. The car gave you a little issue in practice.
Yeah, we broke a right rear axle. Kenny went to his garage to get one. Couldn't get the holes drilled out, so we took it down to the weld shack and welded it and put the welded one on the left rear. I'm glad it held together.
Car feel pretty good for you?
Yeah, Kenny's got this thing hooked up. I can't ask for a better car.
It does. I mean, it just cruises through the middle of the corners. Have anybody else you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank my wife. She brought the studs for the other axle. We didn't get to use them, but I got to thank all the sponsors on the car. Kurt.
Your wife always has the studs, right?
I don't know where she keeps them. Not at home. Kurt Guerin, Sean Mode, McBride's Auto Service, KRC Race Cars, Vicky Lehigh, Hot Rod Motors, Shook Auto, all those guys. Thanks for helping us out.
Let's hear it again for your winner tonight, number 5 this season for point leader, Randy Smart. '46 car, 07 of Don Rufner III starts second. 47 Don Rufner Jr. starting in the third spot. Starting fourth is John McNutt in the 35. 18 is Wes Ennis, car number 33, providing this with the footballs tonight. Brad Henry. 36 of Rich Dunlap. 3 car is Tad Grove. 02 Jesse Page. 11 car Bryce Allensworth, and top qualifier the 22 of Kyle Rector. Coming to green off of corner number 4. Here we go. Neil Rowley in the 46 car. Don Rufner III in the 07 stay side by side up front. John McNutt in the 35 car. Kind of sliding back a little bit. He started in the 4th spot. We'll see if he's able to get back up alongside Rufner, and it looks like he will in that second row. Good, close racing over our first lap. This was much like our compact fast feature last week. We brought 3 cars, 3 abreast, down the front straightaway to the checkered flag. Henry's moved up into the 4th position. He looks for 3rd. He finds an opening on the inside of Rufner. Yeah, he's not going to be able to stay alongside those. Rufner pulls him down the backstretch. Tad Grove in the 3 car joining the top 5. He gets on the inside of McNutt. Good racing going on at our compact fast feature. Rowley holding them off so far. Rufner sliding back in the outside lane as Don Rufner Jr. on the low lane coming forward. Inside lane starting to move up a bit now. Here's Rufner's chance on the inside of Rowley as Rowley went way up the track. Rufner's up to almost the door going to 3. Rowley partly closes the door. Rowley's in a precarious position now. He's got to protect the bottom with Rufner right there. Rufner does get low again, but Rowley's able to stay ahead going into turn 3. It's Rufner on the inside. His son, Don Rufner III, on the outside lane in that 3rd spot. Make it 2nd now as Don Rufner III comes back in the outside groove. Henry running 4th. 5th place battle between John McNutt in the high lane and the 3 car of Tad Grove in the bottom. Top qualifier Kyle Rector much quicker than many of the competitors in the compacts. He's been boxed in so far. He does get an opening now on the inside of Jesse Page. Page gives him plenty of room down in the corner. Don Rufner III's on his way to the back as he slid too high. And Don Rufner Jr. is taking the top spot from Neil Rowley. Rufner out front. Here comes Tad Grove to the inside. He has to check up. Oh, that bunches him up behind. It's kind of a racing deal there between Rector, McNutt, and Don Rufner Jr., the third rather. Oh, John McNutt and Rector get together on the front stretch, and the 35 of McNutt is Rector into the outside retaining wall. Neil Rowley in the 46 car has gone to the infield. Bad break for John McNutt in the 35. He was kind of just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So Rector in fourth now from the back of the field has caught Tad Grove. We've completed 11 laps. We have 4 remaining. Brad Henry, a challenge for the lead. Rufner, the veteran, protecting the bottom. Rufner, Henry, Tad Grove, Kyle Rector up to the 4th spot. Jesse Page in second fast qualifier. Bryce Allensworth racing for 5th. 2 to go. Assistant flagman Jason Neely with a white in hand. Rector is up to 30. Came up just short of picking up a feature win a few weeks ago. He drives hard into turn 3. Good run on the 33 car of Henry. He's got a lap to go. 1 to go for Rector as he challenges Rufner. John McNutt in the 35, the leader. They go around the outside of him. Here comes John McNutt and Rector, close call over in turn 2. Down into turn 3. McNutt and Rector get together in turn 4. Coming to the checkered, it will be Don Rufner Jr., Kyle Rector second. There he is, your winner, Don Rufner Jr. Well, Don, the car doesn't seem to have been qualifying as well the last couple of weeks. You've been doing a little double duty action as well, racing in the sports stock and the compact. First off, tell us about this race. It was a tight battle up front between you, your son, and Neil Rowley early on.
Yeah, I about got the inside of Neil a couple of times. I couldn't quite get in there completely. And Don pushed up a little bit, so I got in between them. Now passing him for the lead.
Said, you know what, son, you gave me a little bit too much room. I'm going to send you to the back.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Then it's a matter of holding off some of the quicker guys behind you. You knew you had Brad Henry right there?
Yeah, I could see him out of the corner of my eye. Probably outside of me there a couple of times. Oh, I'm just tired.
Let's hear it for your winner, Don Rufner Jr. McIntosh Oil Company late models. Starting on the pole is your 5th fast qualifier, Emerson Huffman. Starting second is Bryant Smith, the 4th fast qualifier. Mike Miller, points leader, 53, starts third. Starting 4th, the 27 of Rich Markham, and starting 5th, the 12 of top qualifier, Bubba Smith. Starting 6th, the number 17 car, of Bob Schneider Jr. just missed the invert tonight. 00 of Todd Ripley qualified 7th. He's in the number 7 starting spot. Starting 8th, the number 22 of Ron J. Berg Jr., the 8 car. Joel McKnight. 99 is Derek Gruhl. 71 is Mark Willison, a heat winner. 28, Jonathan Ritter. He's from Weirton, West Virginia. The 02 car of Streetsboro, Ohio's Oliver Allen. 69 of Bob the Animal Eichel. 30 car of Tom Garbrandt. The number 21 of Kenny Stevens. The 47 of Dave McCallicker. And the 07 of Kenny Cantrell. Again, the first row of 10 last week's had a lot of cautions in the middle, but it was exciting watching the double file restarts in the front row. And our top 5 qualifiers are at the front of the field. The invert tonight was just a 5, which is a lot smaller than normal when they're normally deep in the field. Here we go to green. Emerson Huffman and Brian Smith locked in a side-by-side battle off of turn number 2. Smith in the 1 car. In Joel McKnight in the 8 car. Slides down into the infield. And we've got to caution out. A yellow flag for a complete restart is Alliance Ohio driver 2010. Here comes Huffman and Smith again to the green. Boy, Bubba Smith, top qualifier on the 12 car, got shuffled down the bank and coming to complete lap number 1. Into the lead, Brian Smith in the 1 car. Ripley in the 00, I think, is going to call it a night. He's going to head to the pits, the first car out of our 25-lapper this evening. Brian Smith, Rich Markham, Mike Miller looking for third on the outside of Huffman. Schneider running in the 6th spot. Make it the 5th spot. Smith running 6th. Joe McKnight caught in the outside lane after having a good start. Needs to get down to the bottom. He tries, and Gruhl is there. They nearly wreck, and now they will. Top 2, or those 2, get together. Still a long race left in this 25-lapper. Good start off of the 4th corner. Mike Miller in the 53 car, about to take that 2nd spot away from Rich Markham. Miller on the bottom, won the late model feature a week ago. He takes 2nd away. Markham could get back to the inside and hang on to 3rd. Emerson Huffman running the high lane as Bubba Smith, the top qualifier, goes low. Tom Garbrandt in the 30 car, and Mark Willison in the number 71 racing for position mid-pack, and also Emerson Huffman in the 90 gets spun around on the front straightaway. '90 car of Emerson Huffman spinning by himself coming off of turn number 4 in front of Jay Berg. And then the 99 of Gruhl and the 8 car of McKnight caught up in the aftermath. Brian Smith and Mike Miller up front. Here we go to green. 2 of the top competitors in the points here in 2010. Good start off of the 4th corner. Smith spun the tires a little bit. That helps Miller get ahead. Down into the 1st corner, they rub a little bit of paint. Mike Miller in the outside lane, racing down into the 3rd corner with Brian Smith. Hard into the 3rd turn they go. They competed up front in our heat race. Smith up the track. Miller and he get together. They keep on racing though. Miller still strong in the outside lane. Smith goes up the banking again, giving it all he can, but Miller's taking advantage down into the 3rd corner. Mike Miller into turn 4. Now it's Smith going to have an advantage at the line. Good battle between those top 2 late model competitors. Rich Markham having a hands full in that 27 car. Top 2 still side by side. Smith low. Miller on the outside lane, and now Smith has taken sole possession of the lead. Miller in the 2nd spot. Kenny Stevens in the 21 car drops off into the pits. Top qualifier Bubba Smith is right there on Schneider in the 17 car. He looks low going down into turn 3. Schneider gives him plenty of room. Smith goes to the inside, and Bubba Smith, top qualifier, starting 5th, is up to 3rd. Original pole sitter Emerson Huffman dropped off as he is following the field around, but Schneider has moved back into that 4th spot. Drops to the inside behind Bubba Smith as he sets his sights on his brother, as well as points leader Mike Miller. We are halfway, 13 laps in, 12 laps to go, as Miller in the 53 tries to challenge Brian Smith as Bubba Smith closes on the lead duo. Three-car battle at the front in a moment. Bubba Smith about to challenge Mike Miller, looks to the outside down in turn number 3. Smith looks high on Miller in turn 4. Bubba Smith to the outside of Mike Miller, the top 2 in the Midvale Speedway. McIntosh Oil Company late model points racing for 2nd. This will help the 1 car of Smith pull away. We complete lap 17 at the line with 8 to go. Oh, Derek Gruhl with that right front fender rubbing heavily on the tire. He's going to go down the inside lane on the back stretch. Probably get to the pits here shortly. So Derek Gruhl will head off into the pits. Five more laps to go. 5 to go for Brian Smith. Bubba Smith looks high on Mike Miller again for 2nd. Not only trying to pick up extra cash for that 2nd spot than what it would be paying for 3rd. $100 difference between 2nd and 3rd place in our late model feature. As Bubba Smith tries that outside line. 1 to go this time. It'll be the white flag for Brian Smith in car number 1. As Bubba Smith tries to get around Mike Miller. Bryant looks like he has it wrapped up. First feature win of 2010 for the Canton, Ohio driver. Mike Miller will just hold off Bubba Smith for 2nd. 4th, Bob Schneider Jr. And Ron Jayberg Jr. coming home in the 5th position. Canton Auto Salvage, Canton Auto Sales, and Dan's Auto Body. Car number 1 picking up the win tonight. In the McIntosh Oil Company late model division, he used the outside lane to get around Emerson Huffman on the start. And then used the inside lane on a restart to hold off Longtime veteran Mike Miller, his first feature win of 2010, picked up a feature win in 2009. Takes off the Hans device and is ready to celebrate victory. On the front straightaway, cheered for the winner, Bryant Smith. Bryant, congratulations. You probably liked the invert tonight. Normally the fast qualifiers, you got to start pretty deep back in the field tonight. It was a 5, so it put you, the 4th fast qualifier, on the front row. And you had Emerson Huffman, who won more features coming into tonight than you did. And I think you were just a little too strong engine-wise and everything in the outside lane for Emerson there.
Yeah, he did really good so far this year, and he keeps getting better. But I honestly like a bigger invert. I'm usually pretty good passing people, and it makes it a lot more fun when you start about 12th or so. But I'll take a win any day.
Then you have a restart, the double file restart with Mike Miller. He had to give it pretty good. He got out ahead of you there for a while.
Yeah, I think he led a couple laps. I'm not sure, but we got together a couple times, and locking up the brakes is never good. You always slide, and bumped into him once, and he came down and bumped me once, and you have that. Rubbin's racing.
The car actually looked like it was better after about 5 or 6 laps. You pulled away.
Yeah, first lap or two all year, the car isn't really that good on restarts, but after about 3 or 4 laps, the car starts coming in and gets a lot faster.
Have some people you would like to thank?
Of course, my parents do a lot for me. All my crew, Tommy, Mike, Kirk, Colton, Corey, my brother, he does a lot for me too. I got to thank my girlfriend, everybody that helps us out. Can't do it by myself.
Let's hear it again for the winner tonight. Number 1 on the 2010 season, Bryant Smith. '17 car of Bill Burkholder and the 62 of Adam Stewart on the front row. 75 of Bob Passwater Sr. and the 49 of Teddy Oliver. They were tied for the points lead at the start of the heat race tonight, the dash race it would be. 85 of Chris Mick won the dash. He starts 5th, and starting 6th is Mike Martin, tonight's top qualifier. 51 of Brian Menard starting in position 7. 36 of Jonathan Moore. 22 of Tim Lynn. 74 of Bob Passwaters Jr. And the 05 car of Vince Martin. Number 5 on a number of occasions this season. Burkholder and Stewart to the green. Turn number 4, about ready for action in the pure stock division. Here we go. It's Adam Stewart in a 62 car going into the lead. Burkholder up the track in the 17. Burkholder and Teddy Oliver close racing in the corner. Down into turn number 1. Burkholder, Mike Martin, Bob Passwaters Sr. all racing. Chris Mick in the 85 on the inside lane. Teddy Oliver closing in on Stewart. Those two ran side by side for about half of the pure stock feature last week. 05 of Vince Martin being sent pit side. And the 22 of Tim Lynn might be following to the pits here in a moment. We lost a couple of our cars early. Teddy Oliver for the lead in the 49 car. Mike Martin in the number 5 car on the outside lane of Bob Passwater Sr. for 3rd, but up front, Stewart and Oliver, much like last week, locked in a side-by-side battle for the top spot. So now it becomes a deadlock, just like last week. Almost exact replica right here of what we had a week ago. Mike Martin boxed in behind Stewart and Oliver. Adam Stewart, Teddy Oliver, Mike Martin in the 5 continues to look, maybe thinking about threading the needle. Still a long way to go. 7 laps in, 13 to go. Top 6 cars in double wide formation. Good race in our pure stock division again tonight. Oliver can't quite get by that 62 car of Stewart. Here comes Burkholder low, Chris Mick high, and those 5th and 6th spots. I see Martin little bump drafting down the front straightaway. Now Martin will look outside. Chris Mick thinks about looking low. Mike Martin back to the bottom. Be interesting to see what happens in about 4 more laps when they catch the 36 car of Jonathan Moore. That might not give him enough room to go through too wide. Martin looks outside again, down in turn 1. Martin 3 wide formation for the lead down the backstretch. They go off into the 3rd corner. Teddy Oliver picks it up a little bit, drives in harder that time. And they're closing on that 36 car of Jonathan Moore. Down the backstretch they go. Moore will be out of the way down the back straightaway. Everyone able to get by. Adam Stewart on the inside lane, Teddy Oliver on the outside. Martin looking to the middle again, can't quite do it. He needs to set it up perfectly to get between Stewart and Oliver. He gets in there. He's in there going into the corner. Oliver comes down the banking. Martin and he get together. Caution flag out. Yellow on the speedway. Caution out, 62 car of Stewart jumping the start down in turns 3 and 4 to be a restart. Coming to green off of turn number 4. Good start off of the 4th corner. Down into the 1st turn. Stewart on the inside, Martin on the outside lane. Stewart holding up with Martin pretty good down into the 3rd turn. Stewart running the bottom. He gets sideways, though. This gives a chance for Martin with some wheel hop. Martin's going to get ahead, take over the lead, going down into the 1st corner. Mike Martin out front. Stewart to 2nd. Chris Mick will look for 3rd. Teddy Oliver trying to come back through the field in the 49 car. Chris Mick in car number 85 to the outside of Adam Stewart. There are 3 to go at the line for Mike Martin. I think the 2nd and 3rd place cars get together a slight bit, and that allows the 75 of Passwaters to sneak his nose in there. 2 to go for Mike Martin. White flag, final circuit. '51 and the 74 of Bob Passwaters Jr. Green flag, turn 4. Mike Martin goes into the lead. It's going to be Chris Mick taking the second spot in the 85 car. And the white flag coming up this time. 1 to go for Mike Martin. Coming to the checkered off of turn number 4. Mick closing, but going to come up a little short. Martin wins. Mick second, Stewart third, Passwaters fourth, Menard fifth, and Passwaters Jr. in the number 5 position. Number
received warning from unknown people about
There he is, your winner, Mike Martin.
Give us full Daniel. Give us full prayer warriors. Amen. Whenever people write to me or call me, say, Brother Larry, amen, we pray it for the radio ministry.
Mike, driving the number 5 tonight. You made a switch right before qualifying. You decided to drive this one instead of Vince driving it. You know, the 05 just not quite up to speed. You guys brought it out of the garage last night. This car pretty good, though. It's had a number of wrecks this season, but tonight, right place at the right time. Congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to thank my brother, dude. He's the best.
How about the run? You're behind the lead duo, Adam Stewart on the inside. You're behind Teddy on the outside, and obviously they were doing exactly the same thing as they did a week ago, just running side by side, trying to keep everyone else behind them. You got that run through the middle. You had it a couple of times. You checked up. On the back straightaway, you get the opportunity. You stick it in. You get up to about the door, and Teddy thought, I think I can close the door. It's maybe a little too late. You say, this is my opportunity.
That's exactly what I thought. I got tired of giving it to him, so I took it.
Let's hear it again for the winner, Mike Martin.
He wasn't ashamed to go that cross. He wasn't ashamed to have a whip put to his back, a crown of thorns on his head, nails in his hands. Hallelujah.
Final feature of the evening, the Midvale Speedway Compact Division 15-lapper. Perk Pyle Jr. and Richard Duvall starting on the front row. Row number 2 is Don Boron Jr. and Corey Evie. Row 3, Richard Hambleton and Jeffrey Orr. Row number 4 is Tim Frederick and Earl Scranton. Row number 5, the 5 car of Max McCartney and the 55 car of Ed McLean. And row 6, the 20 car of Larry Ennis Jr. He's celebrating a birthday tonight, so if you see Larry Ennis Jr. walking around after the races tonight, wish him a happy birthday. And the 42 car of Michelle Matuzik. Circuits. About ready to go. Final race of the night. Next week, the late model Bounty Series will be here. Should be a good one. A full field expected. Richard Duvall in the 24 car edges ahead into the lead. Battle for second between Perk Pyle. Oh, look out. Earl Scranton gets turned around and will keep on going. And stop on purpose to bring out a yellow. Coming to green in corner number 4. Corey Evie in the 21 car, running in the second spot. Rich Duvall, the leader, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Right behind him, battling. Earl Scranton in the 03, Richard Hamilton in the number 40 car. Up the banking goes Hamilton. Max McCartney in the number 5 is into the top 5 in the 5 car. Scranton has moved up to 3rd. Scranton up to 2nd, racing with Jeffrey Orr in the number 8. And now the top spot, it's a battle between Earl Scranton in the 03 and Duval. In the 24, and Earl Scranton is the new leader. Max McCartney coming along in the 5. Earl Scranton leading. Max McCartney was a little bit quicker in qualifying today. McCartney trying to close the gap. Earl Scranton the leader in the 03 car. Has broken out of his qualifying time. The new leader is going to be the number 5 car of Max McCartney. Scranton has broken out of his qualifying time, going under twice in a row, both times in the 2s, an 18.278 and an 18.259. So the new leader is Max McCartney. Second place now, Jeffrey Orr in the number 8 car. So McCartney leads, Orr is second. Eight car of Jeffrey Orr leaking fluid on the raceway. So Jeffrey Orr in the number 8 car will be sent pit side for leaking fluid. Going to be a caution for the number 20 car of Larry Ennis Jr. Max McCartney in the 5 coming to green with Richard Hamilton in the 40 car on the outside lane. We are back to green flag racing in this second compact feature. 55 car of Ed McLean. There's his problems. They creep up again. He's going to the pits. Hamilton running 2nd. Running 3rd is Corey Evie in the 21 and Tim Frederick running 4th. 4 to go for Max McCartney. Richard Duvall and Larry Ennis Jr. got together a bit going down through 1 and 2. It was 2 to go that time, a lap and a half to go, middle of the backstretch, and Jason Neely with a white flag in hand. It'll be 1 to go, coming off of turn number 4. Max McCartney, final circuit, as he tries to hold off the 40 car of Tim Frederick. Frederick with 40 car of Hamilton makes contact with McCartney down in 1. Now Corey Evie catches the 40 car of Hamilton. Checkered flag will be waving. Coming to the line, it is McCartney, Hamilton, Evie, Frederick, and Duvall, the top 5. 1 on the final lap. The D Mouse at Ferris Chevrolet, Fast Mass Racing, Haas Body Shop, Neckhead Graphics. Number 5, your winner, Max McCartney. Well, Max, you don't race a whole lot anymore. You raced a full season or two, and then this year just decided to bring it out a couple times here middle of the season. Car was running decent tonight. Last week you had some mechanical issues, didn't get to start the feature. Those seem to be fixed.
It's still got a little bit of a miss, but we'll deal with it.
You got out front, you were chasing Earl down, you made him go under his qualifying time actually. In qualifying you were at an advantage there because you were 2/10 quicker than Earl, so then he had to go under his time to stay ahead of you. Then you get out front, and I think you just kind of rode the bottom, just trying to protect yourself out front. And then Hamilton gave you a little bump down on the final lap.
Yeah, he gave me a good shot down there. I have no clue how I saved it, but I just stayed with it, and luckily it come out all right.
Just hammer the gas, right?
That's all you got to do.
Have some people you want to thank?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of people. First off, I want to thank my Uncle Dean, Ryan and Joe Tedesco. My mom and dad's here, my aunt and uncle, my cousin. Everybody's here, so it's been a good night. And also, lost my grandpa a couple months ago, and this is for him.
Max McCartney, your winner tonight in car number 5, our final race win of this night number 9 in 2010. Thanks again to Ferris Chevrolet sponsoring tonight's racing action.
4 laps for this race. 4 laps fast guys for the McIntyre Door Company Late Model Division. Starting on the pole in car number 1 is Brian Smith from Canton, Ohio. Brian Smith, third in the late model points. Mike Miller, the points leader, car number 53, third fast qualifier, starting on the outside. Second fast qualifier, once again. On the outside, the number 12 of Stella Smith. Our top 4 in the Midvale Speedway points are also the top 4 in qualifying tonight. 4 cars, 4 laps to the 16 now. On the back stretch. Brian Smith and Mike Miller in row 1. Row number 2 featuring the 27 Markham and the 12 car Smith. And Mike Miller will realign side by side. We're not side by side. Coming off of that final corner. fifth running spot. He was the top qualifier tonight after a hard crash last week for the number 5. Well, that's 4 qualifiers for the Midvale Speedway Pure Stock Division. We'll be set to go green in one more circuit. Yeah, I just feel that top two cars side by side coming off the orange straight. Late model first heat, bring them down, line them up through the compact goes on the track. 71 Mike Martin driving the 5 tonight. 71, 99, 822, 717, late model first 5 months late. Top 45 minutes and 5 cars. Half waters and all over the 40 meters on our front row of our top guys race and 91. Oliver, the leader. Half waters up the bank and the people together and here comes Christmas. Opens the door wide open. Got the qualifiers and now half waters will go around 75. So half waters will go 5 minutes around. Keeps on going to the balance of Eddie Oliver going at it. 3 minutes just on the and Oliver gets sideways. Runs out of there. 897 and 4. Oliver on 6 going away there. Here comes the of Oliver. Third to the number 5 car, Mike Martin. And fourth to the 75 of Passwater. Pretty. Coming to green off of turn number 4. 4 laps to distance in our south front for the compact division. 36 car one lap, Ocean car stage. Here comes the 22 car Rector. Rector found the opening, moves around towards the front of the field. No challenge for the one lap at the conclusion of lap 1. Rector looking to the outside and one lap now. Rector was forced to the track record speed around the Here's the last race. Was looking for the lead on the outside of the one lap at the line and Dunlap in the 36 car. Boy, Dunlap takes the last lap up or last move to the future. Just about came away with a future victory. White flag. There's the left with it again. 1 more. Lots to go for the 1-0 Hector. But something happens on the final stretch. It looks like Redmond is going to pull this one off. Good run for Washington. The 42 car handle. So with the power about the 6 cars down. Come on. Second flag. One lap second. Howard for third. Fourth place. 0-2. conditions before they come back for the next race on the line. Starting all around, Tom Gardner puts down a double shift going around the 47. And Tom Gardner is still alive there. Off in the infield. And it looks like we're going to have another restart. So top it out. Garbrandt and Stevens get together. And bring out our second line. I saw that one. Michael Stern, Garbrandt on the front row. Tom Garbrandt and Oliver Allen will double them up again. Eichel will get on the outside of Cantrell and we'll try it again this next time by. Lots of lights are turned down. The tires have been pulled to keep them doubled up all the way to that stripe over in turn 4. our Tesla sports stock heat race. Several seasons before that. Division just got out of hand with Hawk. Everybody was taking on the car. Second, Otto third, Fortune McNeely in fifth. Fortune Menard in the 51. And outside goes out of the fourth, tries to make it too wide. Right, on the field, and he'll drive and run, make it quarters down to the first corner, and Martin will head this side. They will find out with heavy smoke on that side. Hopefully, go forward. forward. Ryan Bernard third, fourth place. Mark Atwater. 33 track. We already ran the fastest qualifiers for that runs the highway, sideways down to turn one, clear down over, we're going to have 3 wide per second. McCarthy on the track, 9 to 5. Turned around, adjusted together, and we've got to cock it out. Bit of a long shot to come all the way down to the front here. Straight up. That opens the door for Rooster to the third. Over back to green. Top tag 65 are on the pole. Much better restart for number 5 car for Martin. The 4 back to Martin. Close the door, and it does. McCarthy the leader. McCarthy in the 5. Up the north of the 33 car, Brad Henry is McCarthy. In the lead goes Brad Henry. McCarthy. That's those places going up the front of now, Roseman's boxed into the 47, the minutes look slow. And Matt Rose is up to second. Matt driving Kyle started up. McCarthy, John Rooster, Jr. Rooster is in the long line for the start of the race. McCarthy waiting there for one. He's going off the track. Get ready for the picture tonight. Brad Henry, the 33. Matt Grove, the number 3 car. White flag is 9th, number lap 4. Brad together down in the first corner. Stop and start the yellow and restart. One of them on our front row. Just moments away from our kids' race car ride that's coming up after the finish of this compact heat.
But you mean I come down on him? Well,
so race car drivers inside, we'd like you to help participate in our kids' race car ride coming up after the conclusion of this 8-lap heat. Rich Cavall, John Warren. second, third place, Boron and Easy. Down to Frederick, a little bit of bumper side down here. White flag, circuit forward to the end. Frederick, McClintock and Randy Clark and the 14 car. Don Richter Jr. coming to green off of turn number 4. Ready for feature racing tonight here at Mid-Vid Speedway. 15 laps the distance. Delano looks like he has the lead locked up. Down to 3, down to 1, 2. As we battle it out of our top 4, McNeely on the bottom. McClintock will follow through in the 31 car. McClintock was not just the race after that. Oh, the one car, Vasily is spun around by himself down in turn number 2. Tompkins lagging down. Fastest 2 cars in this field are restarting side by side. A little major push on 20. Speaker wins. Martin point middle, but cut by second. Takes the lead off of turn number 2. approach downward course. Looking for good. Assistant flight engineering can deal with the white in hand. Director is up to and record for the call over in turn 2. Record get together in turn 4. We have had some real good late model races in 2010 last week. Had a lot of concerts and a little bit of an exciting watching the double file restarts in the front row, and our top 5 qualifiers are the front of the flying for a complete restart as Alliance Ohio drivers drove it. We'll see if Ripley's able to make it to the end in that 00 car and be elected to start after Dale. He's guard at tonight's McIntyre Group. There are 3 laps in and with 22 laps to go. pit side. And once you look at the left, might be following for the 50 in a moment. Side-by-side battle for the top spot. Almost exact replica right here looking at it. Still a long way to go. 7 laps in, 13 to go. Top 10 cars and double wide. Late model, I'll be great on our Stewart. Nice model on down the front straightaway. About looking low. Back to the bottom. See what happens in about 4 more laps when they get to the 36 car. Might not give them enough room to go too wide. Stop starting it down in turn 1. Mark 3 wide, 4 nations to the lead down to that stretch. A little bit tight and harder that time. And they're closing on that 36 car of Jonathan Moore. Down the back stretch they go. Moore will stop the way. Set it up perfectly to get complete Stewart and Oliver. Austin flies out, yellow on the speedway. Bill is always with a trick there out the it out. 62 car Stewart jumping to start down in turns 3 and 4 to be a restart. Good start off the 4th corner. Now to the first turn. Stewart on the inside, Martin on the outside lane. Stewart going up the one. He's inside with though. This is the wonderful Mike Martin out front. Stewart. for second. Chris Fick will look for third. Second and third place cars together. Go for 1. Half-water senior, the 75. Half-water senior, green flag, turn 4. Mike Martin goes into the lead. It's going to be Chris Fick taking the second spot.